Aloha! This is John Kohler with OKRaw.com, and today we're going to have a very special treat for you. What I love, one of my favorite foods are the amazing coconut, and we have a real coconut here. I think this one's from either Florida or Hawaii that I brought back on a trip with me. But these coconuts come in a husk. Obviously, they grow on a tree. And what we're going to talk about is coconuts today. We're going to talk about the young Thai coconuts and also the Zico Premium Pure Coconut Water or other coconut waters that come in packages, bottles, or jars. So there's a big difference between packaged coconut water and the real coconut, right here, or the ones we get by the case. And what we're going to determine today is what is cheaper to buy. Whether it's easier to get the Zico in the bottle, basically cost per ounce. We're going to empty this out into a measuring cup here. We have 2 measuring cups, and then we're going to open some of these coconuts from this case of coconuts right here. So a case of coconuts such as this is a case of 9 coconuts. On general, this box was purchased for $7.99 for 9 pieces, so that makes it 89 cents each. Sometimes they'll be as expensive as $11.99 or more. Now this depends on where you live. The closer you are to LA, Los Angeles, or maybe New York, where the ports that accept the coconut shipments in, the cheaper they're going to be. Now if you live in the middle of the country, you're basically screwed because they got to get imported then shipped to you. So guess what? More middlemen. That means it's going to be more expensive. Also, times in many cases you can buy a single coconut at places like Whole Foods or certain grocery stores, and they may run $1.99 to $2.99, or sometimes actually even more. But in all cases, I always recommend you buy the freshest foods and freshest produce, including coconuts, as possible. One of my sayings is, freshest is bestest. Now, I wasn't an English major in school, so I have that saying, because if I was an English major, I probably wouldn't. But in any case, what we're going to prove to you today is basically the coconuts by the case can be cheaper than the Zico and also more nutritious and better for you. So let's see, I guess the first thing is let's take some of these coconuts out of the case here. And there's 9 in this case, and each coconut is always going to be a little bit different shape or size. We're just going to pull some of these out of here for you. And you can see some are larger, some are smaller. Now first let's talk about buying your coconuts. When you buy your coconuts, you want to check them out. And, oh man, that's a fine looking coconut right there. But you want to seriously check them out to make sure it's not going to be bad. Because if you buy them by the case and you get a bad one, that basically screws up your cost dollar average. Because you got a bad one and now you got to, so divide by 8 or something. But you want to pick up the coconut. You want to make sure it's nice and solid color. And so this one's solid color. You also want to make sure it's wrapped in plastic. Now they wrap it in plastic for a very important reason, for evaporation. These are actually moist, and if they take the plastic wrap off, it'll have a higher probability of drying out and actually going bad quicker. And I also keep it all wrapped in plastic. That's for a very important reason, is because based on my research, these are actually dipped. Now, some people say they're dipped in formaldehyde. That's completely not true based on my research and based on some testing that I have seen another person do and sent these off to test for formaldehyde, which proved negative. So I don't know where that came from or how that started, but get that out of your head and tell everybody that these are not dipped in formaldehyde. That being said, they are dipped in 2 things that I have found, and one is actually sulfides. So if you ever bought dried fruit that's nice and, orange color, vibrant looking dried apricots that are nice and chewy, those ones have also been dipped in sulfur, or sulfur basically as a preservative. Also, if you drink some wines contain sulfur, and they have a little statement because some people can be allergic to sulfur and eating extra sulfur in their foods. The other thing it's dipped in is the thymobenzol. So thymobenzol is basically a fungicide, and there's a good reason why they dip it in the fungicide and the sulfides to preserve them, because if they didn't do that, these guys would probably be spoiled by the time you got them. I know because I've shipped them to myself from Florida and from Hawaii, brought them back, and within like a week, because my coconuts are not treated, they actually get this black fungus stuff that invades through the core of the coconut. Actually, it would invade through this part and go right in the nut, and it'd be black, and then turn the water kind of funny, off-tasting, and it's just going bad. So that's why they do it. Now, the other question is, hey John, does that stuff get through? I mean, this coconut husk is very thick, and does that water absorb through and go in? Well, some people say yes, some people say no. I personally dip these coconuts in like a grape juice, so grape juice stains really bad, and actually this is a purple grape juice, for 24 hours, and it showed me that the coloring went in maybe like that far. So I don't know, and it also depends on how long these are in there. I mean, these are in there for 24 hours in the solution of sulfites and thiamabenzol, then it's going to probably go further than if it's in for 5 minutes. I think that processing time is actually a short amount of time, so I don't necessarily think it's a problem. But that being said, you always want to do in your diet what I call good, better, best. You always want to try to do the best you can. If you live in Florida, live in Hawaii, hey, get these fresh. Don't buy the imported ones. If you don't, if you live in the middle of the country, you can get Zico or these. Well, guess what? I believe the fresh coconuts are better, even if they are dipped. The other thing to remember is that you can always also get the Mexican coconuts, which are actually not dipped, but they're going to have a little bit different flavor. Let's talk about flavor for a second. So these guys, these are young Thai coconuts. This is a certain variety of coconut that are grown in Thailand. You know, like we have Fuji apples, Granny Smith apples, Rome apples, Gravenstein apples, all different kinds of apples. And each apple has a different kind of flavor. All the coconuts have different flavors, and there's different varieties of coconuts that many people may not be aware of. They just think, oh, coconut, oh, that's a coconut. They're all the same. Well, no, just like people, every person looks a little bit different, and we're genetically different. Every coconut is just a little bit different, so they'll have different flavors, different taste. I've had coconuts off the tree that actually taste bubbly and champagne-y. Some that taste kind of more a little bit sour, some that are sweet, and just all kind of different ranges in between. But these ones basically all taste the same. I would compare these coconuts to like a Fuji apple. Fuji apples tend to be the sweeter apple, and these are the sweetest coconuts. These are basically grow on a small tree, dwarf tree, so they're not that tall, and they have really sweet coconuts. Now, I love them a lot, don't get me wrong, but if you go out and you get some Mexican coconuts, they're going to maybe not taste too good to you. I mean, the funny story is when I first got into coconuts, I've had a lot of these because, I don't live in a tropical climate where coconuts grow, and I ate a lot of these and drank a lot of them. I went over to Hawaii and had coconuts off the tree, and I'm like, man, these coconuts in Hawaii, they suck. That's because they didn't taste as sweet as these, but I wasn't, realizing that every coconut in nature tastes a little bit different, and actually on a vitality or energetic level, the coconuts from Hawaii blow these away because these have been basically processed, packed, and shipped, and you're getting them at least 30 days, probably even more, maybe 2 months out from the time they've been picked and harvested. In any case, let's get into our test today. Let's go ahead and pour out the coconut waters, and we'll pour this coconut water into one, and we're going to see how many coconuts it takes to fill up the same amount. Now this Zico premium coconut water or other coconut waters in bottles, depending on how big the container is, this one's actually 33.8 fluid ounces or 1 liter. This one runs, I don't know, between $4 and $5 on average. So that gets really expensive. And recently on Dr. Oz, the Dr. Oz TV show, Dr. Oz did research and actually sent some coconut waters, the Zico and some other brands, off for laboratory testing to see if the water in the container met up with the nutrition facts label. So, it says it has 29 milligrams of calcium, 12 milligrams of phosphorus, 18 milligrams of magnesium, and I think that's all the claims they made on here. And they also say, potassium, magnesium, sodium, calcium, phosphorus, more potassium than one whole banana. But in any case, coconut water is an amazing food, high and rich in electrolytes. Also has lauric acid, which is a beneficial, it's basically antifungal. And now, lauric acid is known for being in the coconut oil in higher amounts, but the coconut water also should have a little bit because it's also sitting, next to the coconut meat where the lauric acid is mostly contained. The other thing about the coconut water that I like a lot that people don't talk about too much is what's called, the coconut water has plant cytokines. What are plant cytokines? Plant cytokines are basically like plant-like hormones that are anti-aging for the coconut. Think about it. In the beach in Hawaii or in Puerto Rico, these are hanging on the tree. They drop off the tree, they fall on the beach. The ocean water comes, whisks them off, and they float across the ocean to another island, and then they stop, they basically land, they sprout. But that ocean journey they're taking, maybe 30, 60, 90 days or longer, depends. And the coconut stays fresh all that time, and the DNA keeps replicating without air. And that's because of these plant cytokines. So they're anti-aging for the coconut to keep them fresh, so that this seed, because the coconut once again is a seed to grow a new coconut palm, to keep it viable. And when we take those plant cytokines, it's anti-aging. So that's why I look younger than actually my age, because coconuts are one of my favorite foods, and I drink lots of coconut water. Any case, so you never know what you're going to get in the bottle. Maybe they have it Hopefully it's 100% coconut water like it states on here, but you never know. Maybe they're watering it down, literally, with water. But, I mean, once again, when you're buying packaged and packaged and processed foods, you seriously never know what you're going to get unless you're doing it yourself. But if you open a coconut, I mean, you pretty much know that you're getting the real stuff. Anyways, we open this up. Let's pour this out. This should be about 33 ounces. Once again, this is just the coconut water in here. Now, this is a Tetra Pak. So before they put the coconut water in the Tetra Pak, what they do is they basically filter it or microfilter it. Then they basically pasteurize it. They pasteurize it or heat it at a high temperature to kill all the bad things, the funguses, the bacteria, but it also kills the enzymes and lowers the nutrition in the coconut water as well. So you can see here we have about 1 liter, which is approximately just over 4 cups. And that's all the coconut water out of this. And let's see how many coconuts it takes us to fill it up. Now you might be saying, hey John, that was really easy to open this up. You just spin it off, and it's such a pain to open up one of these coconuts. And if you don't know how to do it, it can be a pain because you could bang this on the ground, you could do all kinds of stuff that's not going to open. But I have a very simple technique I'd like to share with you using just a standard chef's knife. You're just going to put the coconut on the side, and once again I leave the plastic in place so I don't have to touch the sulfides or the fungicide. And by the way, that fungicide thiamabenzol sprayed on conventional bananas and a lot of other fruits. So if you eat conventional fruits, this is no different. You're probably getting a higher absorption level from eating bananas because it has a thicker skin, whereas this is much thicker. And I don't think it gets through a lot. That being said, I have shifted my diet over to more Mexican coconuts. In any case, so what we're going to do is we're going to carefully just rotate this coconut and roll it. And as we roll it, we're just cutting off all the hard fibrous husk. And we're cutting down to the shell. That's a cool sound. Let's go ahead and move those apart. Alright, so you can see here, once we cut off the top there, we just reveal the hard shell, and it's very important to shave down and get all that husk off. If you leave any husk on there, this technique's not going to work because the husk basically holds the coconut together. Next, we're going to do, if you can see that on the video, there's 3 veins on the coconut. We're going to go between basically the largest half, because there's a half and 1/4. We're going to go where it's the half, and we're going to stick the knife in kind of just like that. So I'm going to stick it in just like that, and then I like to bring my hand up to the edge of the knife, and then I'm just going to tap my hand in. Now this is the safest way to open the coconut, I find. Some people take a cleaver and chop, 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 but that's fast-moving knives. This also has an added benefit of making a large enough hole so that actually you could put a spoon in there and actually scoop out the delicious coconut meat. And that's one of the things you don't get when you're buying the Zico. You don't get the delicious baby coconut meat, or jelly meat, they call it in Hawaii. Oh, it's so delicious. So we're going to basically now take the knife, make it parallel with your table, and then rock like you're riding a motorcycle. Rock, rock. And you can see here, just basically pop the top, much like the old 7-Up cans, you go pop the top. And now we have the delicious coconut water. Here's the top filled with the delicious coconut meat. My favorite thing to do is mix the coconut meat with this coconut water and blend it in the blender for a nice coconut smoothie. So now we'll just pour this water in there and see how much we got. Well, we got a little bit over 2 cups so far. So that's 1. Let's go ahead and open 1 more up. Why don't we do this one right here? Now, of course, in nature, the size of your coconuts vary, just like people. People's size and weight varies. So obviously, you always want to try to pick the largest coconuts to get the most water. So once again, we're just carefully shaving off the top of this. One of the funniest stories, I was actually held at gunpoint while opening coconuts in Puerto Rico one time. I was at the Ann Wigmore Institute opening coconuts late at night, and they thought I was a burglar, so they called the police, and the police came with their guns drawn, and I'm just opening coconuts. Well, actually, I was using a machete, so it might have looked kind of dangerous. But man, that was pretty scary. I don't often get guns drawn at me. That's a funny story to remember. But yeah, I have all kinds of crazy coconut stories. Okay, so once again, same technique. Take the larger half section, and we're going to stick the point of the knife in. Tap it in, no problem. Bring that down to the level, and then watch this. Pop the top right up. next, and then carefully we're gonna empty this out. And check it out, we're actually at 4 cups. This is 1 liter right here. So basically, on average, I could say these coconuts basically are about half a liter of water in there. And now we could go ahead and compare them. So that's pretty much about the same amount of water. 1 liter in each one. 2 coconuts versus 1 Zico. Here it is. And these 2 coconuts, these were 89 cents each, so that's $1.78 versus $4 to $5. Say you got it cheap, you got it for $4. This is still half the price. Even if you had to buy this case of coconuts for like $16, it'd be the same price. And guess what? You're getting fresher, higher quality food. This one has not been pasteurized. It has not been heat processed. It's full of life, full of the enzymes and more nutrition. It's the best for your body because it's the most natural thing you could buy. Plus you have this amazing coconut meat. You just basically get a spoon and just put it in there and you can scoop this stuff out, and look at that. This is like jelly. This is like so soft, tender. It's not like the old coconut meat you get in the old brown mature coconuts. Tastes nice, soft. If you blend this stuff up, man, makes it delicious. Like by itself, makes a delicious dessert. Add a couple dates, some vanilla bean in there. Actually, my favorite thing to do, I actually just mix this up in with the coconut water and blend that up into a delicious smoothie. And actually, that's what I'm going to have in a little bit. But you're saying, okay, John, so you've proven, but beyond the shadow of a doubt that buying 2 coconuts is cheaper and better than buying the Zico, especially if these guys are even up to $16 a case. It's about the same price. But the problem is, John, I still don't feel comfortable opening it. Well, I have some other videos on YouTube showing you how to open it. But if that's still a problem for you, let me show you another easy way that's about as easy as like twisting this top off to open the Zico, to open the coconut. So let's go ahead and move these guys aside. And let's go ahead and get another coconut here. And what we have here is the coconut opening tool. This coconut opening tool is available at youngcoconuts.com. Basically, this is a special tool that allows you to put a hole in the coconut and put a straw in there so you can drink all the delicious and nutritious water out. We're going to go ahead and take the plug off, and this is the end cap. You only want to put the end cap on here because this is actually a nice sharp point. You can use this as a weapon if you're being attacked at night, ladies. But basically what this is you want to put this into the coconut just like this up at the top. And it's very important, you want to twist this tool. This tool is a knife, but in order for it to work, it needs to rotate back and forth in the same plane. So you can't like rotate it like this, not going to work. You got to get a nice wrist action. See how my wrist is turning back and forth? So my wrist is turning back and forth while I'm pushing in. Pushing down and turning at the same time. This will easily go in the coconut. You're going to twist it and turn it out. Then you have this little, on the end of the plug, you have a little plug tool that's going to basically push. And you can see the plug that it took out pop right out. This is much like a hole punch, literally, for your coconut. Then you can see we have a nice hole there. And now that we have the hole, we're just going to take a nice straw, stick the straw in, and enjoy the fresh coconut water. Nothing could be easier than using the coconut opening tool to get the coconut water out. And my goal for you is to, get you to stop buying Zico and start buying some young coconuts. That being said, I like to look at life as good, better, best. And if the options are either a Zico or a Coca-Cola, or a kombucha on the shelves, I'd actually rather you get even the Zico processed coconut water. But I want you guys always to look for the fresh coconuts because those are truly the best. Hopefully you've learned more today about coconuts and which is more expensive, the Zico or the coconuts. Fresh coconuts from Thailand. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com, encouraging you to eat a diet that's containing mostly fruits and vegetables for the greatest possible health.